Netflix's new historical drama The Piano Lesson features a significant character named Crawley, Matrell Smith, who puts a wedge in the relationship between Bernice and Boy Willie. Directed by Malcolm Washington, The Piano Lesson is a film adaptation of the play of the same name written by August Wilson, who also wrote the original play that inspired the Academy Award-winning film Fences. The Piano Lesson's ensemble cast is led by John David Washington, Tenet, The Creator, Samuel L. Jackson, Pulp Fiction, The Hateful Eight, Danielle Deadwyler, The Harder They Fall, Station 11, and Ray Fisher, True Detective, Justice League. While the film and play are both deeply rooted in American history, The Piano Lesson is not based on a true story or true people. The Piano Lesson has opened up to strong reviews, earning an impressive Rotten Tomatoes critic score of 90%. The Piano Lesson marks the feature film directorial debut of Malcolm Washington, the youngest son of Denzel Washington, who directs his older brother John David Washington in the film. By the end of The Piano Lesson, Washington's Boy Willie and Deadwyler's Bernice are forced to confront the ghosts of their family's past in the form of a slave owner named Sutter. Crawley was Bernice's husband who was shot and killed. A local sheriff shot and killed Crawley over stolen wood. Danielle Deadwyler stares down her family in The Piano Lesson. During several heated and emotional moments in The Piano Lesson, Bernice, Boy Willie, and Lyman discuss the incident that happened years before that left a man named Crawley dead. Crawley was Bernice's husband and the father of her child Maretha. During one of the most recent times that Boy Willie had come around to see Bernice, he and Lyman had asked Crawley for some help transporting a shipment of wood. While the circumstances surrounding how Boy Willie acquired the wood remain ambiguous, Crawley ended up being shot and killed by the local sheriff after he drew a gun on police. It's more than likely that Boy Willie and Lyman had stolen the stock of wood, much like the watermelon cart that they arrived to Doka's house in Philadelphia with. Boy Willie even admits that he has been known to commit thievery and has sold stolen goods for profit. Lyman was also compliant in the ordeal and was seen laughing with Boy Willie about making money selling the watermelons they almost certainly stole. Bernice isn't as concerned about Boy Willie's criminal record as she is about the bad influence he had had on her and her family. She blames Boy Willie for getting Crawley involved in his misdeeds. Why Bernice blames Boy Willie for Crawley's death? She believes Boy Willie was a bad influence on her family. Actress Danielle Deadwyler in the movie The Piano Lesson. For Bernice, it's impossible to separate Boy Willie from Crawley's death. She cannot accept that Crawley had willingly chosen to assist Boy Willie and Lyman in transporting the stolen wood and understood the risks in doing so, which is why he had a weapon on him in the first place. Bernice blames Boy Willie for involving Crawley in the first place, but Boy Willie and Lyman refuse to take responsibility for Crawley's death. Bernice obviously is coming from a place of deep pain and uses Boy Willie as someone to blame. Boy Willie and Lyman had hoarded the wood in the first place, but Crawley decided to help them and pull a gun on a sheriff. Bernice's grief over losing Crawley is a major theme of both the Piano Lesson play and the film adaptation. It is the source of her distrust in Boy Willie and a main motivation for her to keep the family piano, knowing that like the wood, it had been stolen and could likely stir up trouble if revealed. Boy Willie comes around looking to sell that piano specifically, which sparks an intense emotional response from Bernice that is rooted in her pain over losing Crawley. Bernice and Boy Willie's father, Boy Charles, died after being caught stealing the piano. Bernice holds sentimental value for the piano for that reason, but all Boy Willie can see at first is a way to purchase land in Mississippi. How Crawley's death affects Bernice's relationship with Avery and Lyman. Bernice is much less willing to embrace opportunity and trust others. The local preacher Avery expresses a clear interest in Bernice and even asks her to marry him in the film. Bernice tells him that she has too much going on to even consider Avery's proposal, even though he makes strong points about how he can provide a safe and happy life for her. Bernice likes Avery but doesn't appear to be overly enthused about the prospect of being his wife, despite the perks of being a preacher's wife. She does briefly accept the advances of Lyman but also restrains herself, still emotionally tied to Crawley's death and her life-changing grief. Ultimately, Bernice becomes much less trusting after Crawley's death but regains her strength by playing the piano at the end of The Piano Lesson.